Nigerian Mouthpiece today, and we want to use this opportunity to welcome you all to this special episode. Just like every other episode has been special, it's going to be another special episode again today. We're going to be having a special personality on this show. Like we all know what Nigerian Mouthpiece is about. It's an avenue through which we showcase all Nigerians, both home and abroad, that have been doing exceptionally well in their chosen career. I am Phillips Ayodike, also known as Megan, and today, like every other day, I'll be co-hosting the program with MC Morris, also known as Morris Imadu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Philip, and welcome again to Niger Mouthpiece. Today we have a big gun in the house who originally he is a realtor, but I think he's more of a socialite than even a realtor. Like it's a socialite, he's a philanthropist, it's someone that everybody wants to identify with. No other person than the one and only Greg Ebube.
My name is Ebube Greg Chukwemeka. I was born in Lagos State, Nigeria. I schooled in Lagos. I did my master's in the University of Lagos. Then in 2016, we decided to migrate to Canada with my family. And ever since I've been here, I've tried a couple of things, but the second year of coming, I decided to move into real estate. And that is where I have been to date. And that's what I'm still practicing.
Nice having you as our special guest today, Mr. Greg.
Yeah.
Nice having you. It's good you started telling us when and how you migrated to Canada. It will do us a whole lot of good and our viewers out there if you can expatiate on how your journey from Nigeria to Canada, how it came to be, and what you were doing back home, and what you started off doing when you got to Canada.
Thank you so much. Back home in Nigeria, I graduated from, I studied project management, and I got a job in the airline industry. So I proceeded to study flight dispatch operation. I went to Aero Consults in Adeni Johnson Keja, and then subsequently I went to Zaria NCAT to get my license as a flight dispatcher. Then I worked with IRS airline from 2007 to 2010. Then I got another job with Aero Contractors, where I worked from 2010 to 2016 before I migrated to Canada. On reaching to Canada, you know, when you come abroad, before you start saying, oh, I'm praying abroad, but you don't really know what you're coming to meet here. But when we came here, we saw that it's not as easy as we think. But you know, as Nigeria, you have to find a way. So it took me 6 months to really sit down and study the system. I just did not want to do what every other person was doing. I decided to go my own separate way. So I got a license immediately to sell life insurance, but I did it for 1 year, and I said it's not working for me. Then I started the real estate course. I went to Uria College, took the courses. It was quite tough, but finally we got it done. Then I remember telling some of my friends I'm going into real estate. When people tried to discourage me, they're like, oh, Greg, you're going to suffer, hunger is going to kill you. Real estate is for Indian people, it's not for black people. But I told them, I want to do my thing my own way. And to God be the glory, it's been a success so far.
Mr. Greg, talking about your migrating from Nigeria to Canada, the first question I want to ask you is, how well were you doing in Nigeria before you decide to move to Canada? Was it as a result of Jackpot, or it is the fact that this is what you really want to do? So over 100%, like how well were you doing?
I was a senior flight dispatcher with aero contractors. I believe so many of us know about aero contractors. So I worked in the operation department, which is OCC, that's operation control. We are in the brain of the industry, the office. We plan the flights, we manage the flights, we manage the crew. But virtually we take all the decisions that has to do with the airline. So I was not doing so bad. I was doing very well. So
over 100%.
Over 100%, I think I was like maybe 85%. But, you know, they said human needs is insatiable. So I remember in 2014, I went on vacation with my family to the US, you know. And on my way back, somebody was like, why are you going back to Nigeria? You can leave your family here. And I'm like, no. So the thought started coming to my mind from 2014 that I need to move my family to give them a better life and also give them another passport. So that was why we left Nigeria. It wasn't, I didn't leave Nigeria because I was not doing well. I was actually okay with my family before we came here.
So coming to Canada, and then you know that the project management cannot project you here in Canada. So as a starter, yeah. So everybody's beginning is always either Uber or factory. Did you thought of Uber or factory to begin with?
Yeah, that's a very wonderful question. So while I was here, the first set of people I met, they worked in a factory. They took me to the factory, and I was there for just 2 weeks. Every day I come back. Funny, sometimes there's no job to do in the factory. They will tell us to go and sweep the ground. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Like, I can't do this. So every time I go home, I complain. But I had to take some decisions. There was this thing where everybody wears safety boots. So I decided not to take my own back. One day, after the second week, I said, if I don't go back with this thing home, I'm not going to come back to this thing. So I left it at the factory, and I went back home, and I decided to stay for 6 months to figure out what I really want to do as far as Canada is concerned.
Wow. So which means like the essence of that last question you just answered is to picture the mind of our people back home that are trying to migrate into either Canada or anywhere in the world. You coming into a new environment, begin to picture the fact that even if you're a bank manager back home, you have to start somewhere, because there is no bank that has positioned that same seat for you, waiting for you in that country where you desire to go. Yeah. So you have to prepare your mind that you have your day of little beginning.
Yeah.
So that's the essence of that question. Yeah. So what's the question that we need to ask you right now is, what were the challenges that you went through? You said you delved into financial advisor before you eventually got into the property business, which is the big man kind of business. So what were the challenges you went through?
Selling life insurance
And coming to sell property.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I want to say that coming to abroad, it's a different ball game altogether. We shouldn't have that. We want to come and start from where we left it in Nigeria. Because this is a country where you're just coming to live. You were not born here, you haven't lived there before. So you're going to need some time to be able to pick up. So coming here, you have to, like any kind of job at all. Like I worked in the factory, and I had to drive Uber on the side to be able to pay my fees to go to get my licenses. Because all these things are not free. There's no free food here. Everybody have to work and then try to make it work. Nothing is free in Freetown, correct. So anybody planning to come abroad, it's a good thing, but some of the challenges you're going to face here is you're going to face the challenge of Canadian experience. Even though there's nothing like Canadian experience, but this is Canada. Employers are going to definitely want to know, oh, where have you worked? Your experience back home is not going to count. Like, it virtually doesn't count in all fields. Most people that come here, even if you're a doctor, you have to, the best way to put it is that Canada reduces you to, you have to humble yourself. They don't care what profile you have. They don't care where you're coming from. You're going to start from the beginning. So you have to prepare your mind to come and face the challenges. But it's something that you can always surmount. It's not something that's...
Okay, and I'm still talking about selling life insurance. Now, I think it should be assurance now. Is it life insurance or... Okay, so still talking about selling life insurance and being a black man and new to the business. That means it would even be easy for you to connect to Nigerians if you have to sell such. And we Nigerians, our life is in the hand of God. So how were you able to convince people to take their life from the hand of God and come and insure it with you?
So one of the reasons I had to leave life insurance was because our people do not believe in life insurance.
Our life is in the hand of God.
So you write a policy for them, and the way the life insurance is structured is that if you write a policy and the person cancel, the commission you're paid is you have to return it back to the company.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
It doesn't matter how long?
No, it has to stay 2 years. So some people just come, oh, you do the presentation for them, they like it, oh, we want to do it, they just sign up. Then they pay 1-2 months and they have a problem. Why am I even paying this money? No. They cancel, the company charge you a chargeback. So when I did it, I saw chargeback. I'm like, no, this is not what I want to do. So that's why I had to, okay. Because I started rolling with some Indian guys. They're telling me, okay, if you move your experience from the way you sell life insurance to real estate, you're going to do very well. And so I started diving into real estate. Then you were saying something about how to move as a black man selling life insurance. That's true. So everything in this part of the world, I'm not going to say, I don't want to use the word, but you have to, I try to do some online adverts. People are going to call you, spend money, $5,000 doing adverts. You know how many, you're not going to write zero deal. Nobody's going to use you. They're going to engage you. You're going to speak good English. Oh, yeah, I can do this for you. But when it's time to commit, they're going to tell you, sorry, we're going to work with, they will have someone to work with. So I went to some events and they told me, you have to target a certain set of people. So I decided to concentrate on my African people.
So like the financial advice business is it's more like a community kind of business. So if you want to really make it in that line of business, you have to channel your strength towards your people. That's basically what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, and I think Mega is into that too. Like he uses that as a second stream of income.
Before I have an idea.
Okay, Mr. Greg. Now, okay, you left the life insurance and then you moved to selling selling properties, real estate. We also know that there are lots of challenges when it comes to real estate, and after some little research, I don't know if I've discussed that with you, that I've heard that you can put money and then they say they did not close the deal, and at the end of it all, you can even be paying mortgage and you don't have a house. So let's talk about your first deal. Your first deal, did you close it or it was open?
That's a good question. There's a lot of things that happen here. So before I answer that question, this place is there's a lot of information that you need to get. There are so many things that it's not as easy as you think. They look. You can just go and start something, and then before you know, you see a legal document waiting for you. Like there's somebody is taking you to court and all that. 100% there were challenges in entering the real estate industry. When we entered there, when I got in, my first deal was my property. I told my wife that I cannot live a rent, I'm moving to another rent. So I worked so hard to raise money, and then going into, I believe in practice what you preach. So if I want to go tell you to come and do something, I want to have something to show that I have done it, and it's profitable. So I can't just, how do I convince you to own a house when I don't even own a house? So I decided to start with myself. My deal closed. I closed my first deal, and it went very well. Yeah.
We have series of contradictory information regarding property business in Canada.
Yeah.
Especially as it's got to do with foreign buyers being barred, stopped from getting into property business. How much of that has affected the business generally, especially this law that foreign buyers cannot invest into properties right now in Canada?
Well, most of my deals, just like maybe like 3% of my deals are foreign buyers. 97% are Canadians and Canadian residents. So, and going by like the statistics, the percentage of foreign buyers that are actually buying in Canada is less than 10%. So the thing is that in this part of the world, there's a lot of lies, and like especially with the Bank of Canada and the Canadian, let me not use those words. Like they tell you you're a first-time home buyer, you can buy a property with minimum 5%, but there are some terms and conditions behind it. Yeah. By the time you go into the bank is going to tell you, oh, for you to qualify with the minimum down, you need to be making this amount of income. And many people are not qualified based on the stress tests and all that. So you see somebody who is making $50,000. For you to buy a $500,000 house, you have to make it like $100,000 income. And for you to make $100,000 income, that means you're like a high earner. So, but the news out there is that you're a first-time home buyer, and most people put that in their brain and they are working with that. So by the time they get into this thing and you tell them, oh, you're not qualified, they're like, why? Why wouldn't I? The government said I can buy with 5%. Why can't I get with 5%? But there are things behind it. So these are the things that we as realtors, we try to educate our people. Even though some of our people don't listen, they still don't want to believe in all that. For you to buy, you have to be able to make 5 times what you can be able to, like if you're making 100,000, you can be able to borrow up to 5 times of your income. But most people, they are making 50,000, they want to buy a $1 million house. And it's not just to buy, it's affordability, continuous payment. Because any house you buy, you don't own it. You don't own it because the mortgage is staged 25 years to pay it off. So that's that.
Have you at any point regretted striking a deal? Like, did you get into a deal and you feel so bad that I did not close this deal?
Sure. The deals I regretted not closing were during the interest rate hike. That was last year, to be precise. People were overbidding, they were buying, and the Bank of Canada has come to say that interest rate was going to stay low for a very long time. And all of a sudden, a lot of people came out and were buying and buying. But before you know it, the Bank of Canada came up with interest rate hike. And people bought houses with a hope of closing with 1.52% interest rate. They raised the interest rate like maybe 8 times last year, from March till December. So by the time those deals that we bought were about to close, the houses that we bought for $1 million, they did appraisal, they were now worth $800,000. And the sellers they still want to get their $1 million. So some of my clients right now are in court with the seller, trying to see how to resolve the deal. So basically that's why we lost. Those were the deals I regretted not closing, and I feel so bad that those guys could not be able to close.
For the benefit of first-time home buyers and those that are going through because in fact, the fact that we have you on this program today is going to relieve and is going to expose so many things that is around the real estate business. For the benefit of those who are presently committed into pre-construction deals, and at the end of the day, those houses are coming short of the initial projection of the houses or what was signed for. If they end up not defaulting, if they end up defaulting on the deal, what's going to be their position? Do you think, what does the law say as per the funds that they have committed into the deal?
The law is that if you sign a contract, the contract is binding between you and the other party. So because you also have to look at, it can go either way. There were people who bought houses for 500,000 for pre-construction, and by the time it was ready to close, those houses were selling for 900, 1 million. So that's a plus for the buyer. The seller is losing. So if you sign a contract and you are not able to meet up, what happens is that number one, your deposit is going to go. The seller is going to, the builder are going to hold your deposit, and the builder is going to try to sell this property. So let's say you sign a contract for a 700,000 purchase and you have put down 50,000 deposit or 70,000 deposit. The builder is going to try to say, okay, on the day of closing, for some reason the appraiser is short, you can't be able to, because the bank can only finance you based on the appraised value. Nobody wants to finance something that's already losing money, because these people too want to make money. So the bank, the builder, number one, they're going to try to sell that property to another person if you default. So let's say you buy it for 700, now the builder sells it for 500. That means the builder is losing 200,000. So what is going to happen is that the builder is going to sue you for the balance. They're going to take you to court, and the court can decide either way. So, but the deposit will also be added. So let's say they are suing you for 200,000, but you have put down 70,000.
I'm going to quickly cut you short there. It looks as if the law is made to favor builders.
Yeah.
Because I have seen situations whereby people were made to sign contract that a particular property will be ready like January, and going down March, April, May, June, these properties are not ready. At the end of the day, all builders will do is send out a message telling you the property is not going to be ready January anymore, it's going to be ready by December, and you can't take them nowhere. But if you are meant to close a deal for a house as a buyer today and you're unable to close for 3 days, you're being made to pay $5,000, $6,000 penalty for not closing. Could you please shed light on this, because it's not favorable to buyers?
Yeah, so the thing is that most of our people don't take time to review the agreement of purchase and sale when they are buying a property. So in that agreement of purchase and sale, the builder has put there, it's a clause, they have the right to extend the closing to whenever the building is ready, because there could be hitches that could warrant that they will not be able to deliver the building. So in every agreement of purchase and sale, they are going to have closing dates 1, 2, 3, like that. But the thing is that everybody just want to own a property. Everybody's in a rush. Now, before signing any agreement of purchase and sale, you have what they call a 10 days cooling period, where you can take it to the lawyer and let the lawyer review it for you and explain everything in that agreement of purchase and sale for you. You have 10 days to decide, do I really want to proceed on this thing or not? But what happens is that because the demand is so high and the supply is low, so everybody wants to grab something and hold on to it. They're not ready to let go, even when they cannot be able to close. Another thing also I want to throw more light is that people just think that, I just want to go buy a pre-construction because it's easy. The payment deposit is not big, it's small. I can pay gradually. Before signing those things, you also need to look at your financing. Can I be able to qualify for this in mortgage? Because that you put down $70,000 does not mean you're going to qualify for $700,000 mortgage. So, but people don't look at that. Everybody just want to sign agreements and then, oh, I've owned a property. But I think that people should begin to look into that, get a lawyer to review the agreement of purchase and sale, ask any question that you need to ask about any document before signing.
Talking about the rush to buy and talking about the supply and demand. Basically, you and I know that we have lesser number of houses compared to the number of people that we have in Canada. Which means there shouldn't be any reason whatsoever why the prices of houses should snowdive the way it snowdived a couple of months ago. What exactly is and we come to understand that the Bank of Canada is using interest rate to checkmate the issue about buying inflation and as it affects the property. What exactly is the reason why these things were being made? Okay, people signed up a contract for pre-construction for $1 million. At the end of the day, a year after the whole thing is ready, the house is valued at about $800,000, and the system is not doing anything to checkmate that.
Well, that one has to do with Bank of Canada and the Canadian government. Like you know, we all came into this country 2016. Majority of the influx of Nigerians started coming into Nigeria, Canada in 2015, 2016, 2017 was the height, the peak where everybody was coming in. So we now have not witnessed this type of thing before, but it has happened before. These things has happened before, that prices drop, recession. But what they're like in every economy, if there is inflation, the only way to cure inflation is to increase interest rates. That's what we all read in economics, right? So the thing is that for the reason why the houses are nosediving, these are based on the appraiser company, the Bank of Canada, all these games. We are still studying it, and I wouldn't be able to share more light on that aspect.
Greg, I'll be asking you about building a house from the scratch, because I know in this part of the world, I say everybody's buying house. We've not really seen that much of building, but before we do that, we'll just go on a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll discuss about it.
Developmental service workers, DSWs, are trained to work with individuals living with developmental disabilities in diverse settings such as classrooms, hospitals, group homes, and our communities. DSWs help their clients become independent in completing activities of daily living and community integration. Behavior Price College of Business and Health Studies offers a unique DSW training by introducing the DSW-B, which is the Developmental Service Worker Behavioral. This unique course incorporates a behavior management course in all 4 semesters of the program. and equips graduates with the additional skills to develop and implement program plans based on the principles of applied behavior analysis, ABA. Hurry and register now. Call 416-742-5913 or visit www.behaviorpricecollege.ca. Behavior Price College, in pursuit of excellence.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. We want to believe that you are enjoying this wonderful session with Mr. Greg Ebube, and we also want to believe that you are having so much to take home and so much to learn about. And for those of you that wants to buy a house in Canada, I'm sure you know your best connects. Imagine he closed his first deal, my first deal. Okay. Mr. Greg, let's come back to you. Now, is it possible to buy a land and build a house in Canada?
Yeah, it's possible. Everything is possible. In fact, that's a very good question. Right now, where I'm moving to will be development aspects, which is the building and selling. That's where I've been putting most of my energy right now. I've done so many findings about how to get a land, get approval. But the only thing is that you can't just buy a land and start building. There are still a lot of hurdles you have to pass through. You have to go through the city. Is this place zoned? Is it zoned residential? Do you have all the necessary amenities to be there? Then you have to pursue the approvals. They come in stages. So sometimes you can get a land and it's going to take you maybe like 2 years to get a site plan approval before you can move into the site and start building. But people can buy a house, demolish it, and get approval to rebuild it. It's possible.
Thank you, Greg, for your time and your answers to our questions. And we would want to know if, for instance, we have our clients, our viewers watching out there, anyone amongst them that really wants to invest into property now, a new home buyer, what would you want to say to them? How would they start and what are the procedure?
Okay, thank you for that question. In fact, this is exactly what has helped my business. Before I do any deal with any clients, I like to give them proper buyer's education, because it's not just to have a down payment and put an offer and the offer is accepted and you have a house. No, there is a lot. Number one, we always encourage educating our clients to know what the next step from one to one. So first and foremost is that I like to always have a meeting with them, asking about their income, their credit score, how much taxes they have filed. Then we look at it and then, okay, if they are okay to go, how much down payment they have. Because some people don't know that for you to buy a property, you need to have your down payment sitting in the bank for the past 3 months. If it's not up to 90 days, the bank is going to ask you a lot of questions. Where is this money coming from? So all those things we guide them through. We request for their 3 months bank statements and look at their credit score, see what they owe, because sometimes when the client is owing, it also reduces their purchasing power. So their debt ratio have to be equal to what you can buy, because when they buy a house, you have a mortgage you're paying. It's not just the mortgage alone. The bank want to see, okay, how do you sustain the payment of maybe you have OSAP, you have a car loan, you have credit card debts. They want to factor in all these things and see that you can be able to make those minimum payments every month. But what I normally do, I invite my clients to come to the office. I sit down, I break everything down and explain the process of buying and selling real estate. Because it's not just to sign the agreement of purchase and sale. You can sign an agreement of purchase and sale and see yourself in the courts, because they can sue you for breaching any of that contract that you have signed.
In other words, it's not like when I can just come and say, sign that, okay, I want to buy this house, and then I'll come back tomorrow and say the money I'm expecting did not come. The next place we'll meet is court.
You're going to meet them in court.
So basically, property business here in Canada is different from what is obtainable back home in Nigeria, right?
100%. Because you're not buying the property cash. Unless you have the cash to put down, no problem. But if you are buying it with mortgage, it's a different thing.
Even if you have the cash to put down, the system will still ask you question, how did you get the cash to put down?
Yeah, of course, you have to explain how you get your money. But people still buy with cash, but they explain where they get their money from.
Okay. All right. Now, taking you to the issue about the community you represent, because regardless of how we say it, you originate from Nigeria, you're an African. How do you capture Nigerian market here in Canada? And aside that, how is your business being seen, dealing with you as an entity, as a black man, by other nationalities?
Yeah, like I said before, when I started real estate, I tried to do some online marketing, trying to market myself, spend money, but I never got any headway until I went for a seminar, and they told me you need to concentrate on a particular place. So I decided to concentrate on the African community, and these people helped my business to grow. So because these are people that understand you, they understand your language, and because we share the same color, they listen to you, and they want to do business with you. So that's what I've done. I'm not saying that Canadians they don't like black, but I don't want to waste my time going to where I will not make deals. I want to talk to somebody who is going to listen to me and make things happen for me.
Developmental service workers, DSWs, are trained to work with individuals living with developmental disabilities in diverse settings such as classrooms, hospitals, group homes, and our communities. DSWs help their clients become independent in completing activities of daily living and community integration. Behavior Price College of Business and Health Studies offers a unique DSW training by introducing the DSW-B, which is the Developmental Service Worker Behavioral. This unique course incorporates a behavior management course in all 4 semesters of the program and equips graduates with the additional skills to develop and implement program plans based on the principles of Applied Behavior Analysis, ABA. Hurry and register now. Call 416-742-5913 or visit www.behaviorpricecollege.ca. Behavior Price College, in pursuit of excellence.
The thing is that one thing that reduces us here is that when people are migrating abroad, some people just want to come abroad to I just want to get paper, But after the paper, what's next? So people refuse to dare. In this part of the world, nobody is stopping you. You are the only one stopping yourself. When I started real estate, I think I was the only, like in my area, most of my friends, I was the only person that went into real estate. And I remember some of my friends talking on the side, guy, hunger go kill you for this town. Now Indian people, they do this business. So some people want to discourage you. They don't want to do it, but they're only going to talk things. So what I told them is that when I sat down, I thought about everything. You know, God gave you, everybody, a vision for what to do. So for me to do something, if I come to share it with you, you may not understand the vision, because the vision was not given to you. The vision was only given to me. I saw future in real estate. So I didn't let whatever side talk, whatever people were saying to hinder me or make me not to take step. So this part of the world, it's a free country. You can dare and you can succeed.
I will quickly add a little and then I will ask my question. I also believe that where we are coming from, which is Nigeria, a real estate business is not it's not really that open to everybody, because I do not even see myself in the first place leaving Nigeria to do real estate here, because back home we don't see so much people in it, and land most especially always have problem in Nigeria to begin with. So we know it's a handful. That is why most people are not still coming here to dive into that direction. But I want to ask you, as a realtor, are you limited by province? Like, we know that in Ontario now you can sell anywhere. Can you also sell in other provinces like the British Columbia, Alberta and other places? Are you allowed to practice in those places?
No, I'm not, because the laws are different. Different provinces have their different law. So if I want to sell in British Columbia, I have to go there and get a license in British Columbia. But I can also do like a referral basis. Like, I have some clients who are buying in Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg. So what I do is that I look for a real estate agent who is licensed in Calgary. Then I refer my clients to them and they give me a referral bonus. So I'm only able to get a referral bonus out of Ontario. But my license only covers me to practice in Ontario.
So peradventure you move out of Ontario today, you need to start another process to your business.
100%. One thing I want to add again is that real estate is highly regulated here in Canada. It's really, really highly regulated. So everything that happens is tracked. It's not like you were saying something about back home, land have issues. Everything here is already properly regulated, and every deal that is done is tracked, is traceable to somebody.
So, Mr. Greg, I want to delve into your philanthropism right now, because
the socialites.
I'm not going to be taking it from the angle of being a socialite. I'm going to be taking it from the angle of you being somebody that has used your good position to impact others. And a testament to that is a couple of awards that are lined up behind you here. You have won several awards by virtue of what you do to impact the community that you represent. You've done a couple of things to impact the entertainment industry in Canada. What exactly is the inspiration behind what you do to better the lots of others?
Thank you so much for that question. In fact, I've been waiting for that question. So, you know, when I don't have so much friends, but I have people that we talk. So when I started real estate, I looked at some of my friends, that's the way they are, some of them are doing Uber, they don't really have anything to call. So I'm the first person that I decided to call some people to say, guy, we can come and work together. By the grace of God, I've been able to bring into the business over 10 Nigerians to come into the business and work with me. And I remember when I started real estate, it was a struggle, because I went to an office where I have mostly white people, nobody want to even associate with you and all that. So I struggled in my first year until I came to this brokerage, Century 21, where my manager was fantastic. He was guiding me through every step. So I decided to invite some Nigerians and say, come, you can do this business. The business is too big. It's not just for one person. We can dominate this business. Presently in my office, I think we have about 12 realtors from Nigeria working in this brokerage right now. And with time, we are looking to be the number 1, number 2 top producers as far as real estate is concerned in this brokerage. So we have encouraged people not just to, I have people who they are just there to talk, but we encourage people to come into the business and train them, because I don't believe in giving people fish. I believe in teaching people how to fish, because tomorrow the knowledge they are going to get, they are going to use it to better their life and the life of their family. So right now, this is what we have been doing, and we are still doing it. We're still open. I still have some people who are trying to get their license. They're writing their exams. As soon as they are done, they come over. Right now, I just signed up one agent. He just finished his course, and I'm guiding him on the step by step to how to do real estate.
Thank you very much. And this is one of the things we do. This is one of the things that Niger Mouthpiece try to encourage. And to be honest, if you didn't take it this far, this last response you gave, I would have asked if by chance we have people out there talking to us that they need to understudy someone in the area of real estate business. I hope we can as well refer them to you, right?
100%.
Thank you so much.
I was going to talk about the social aspects.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in the terms of being out in the public as a social person, I've used this social entertainment industry to boost my business, because it puts me out there. People see, oh, who is Greg Ebube? What is he doing? People call me. There are some shows I go, oh, they run my adverts, and they say, oh, the people call me on the door, stop me on the door. Oh, Greg, can I have your card? The next day they are coming to my office, and we are doing business, and we are educating them on the need to own real estate in Ontario, Canada. So the social aspect has really helped me to boost my business, and I encourage everybody, if you're planning to come into real estate, we need people to hear about you. You need to be out there. You need to invest in entertainment. This is what helps our business.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Greg. There's a particular question we always get to ask, that how do you take relaxation? But I think you answered the question already. You see Greg at events, even though we don't get to see him much this day.
Yes, people out there, we have a lot to take away from today's edition of Niger Mouthpiece. We have a Nigerian that is doing well for himself. He has been able to bring together a couple of friends to join him in the kind of business he does, and he's still open to accept as many that want to join him in the business, and that shows that our community is expanding in Canada.
Yeah.
So what more do we talk about? It is Niger Mouthpiece, where we discuss empowerment, where we discuss positive, where we discuss about things that you can do to better the lot of yourself, your family and friends out there in Canada.
Yeah.
So I hope you have been able to take one or two from today's episode.
I want to say a big thank you to Niger Mouthpiece for coming over to my office today. I want to say the only way what I have to encourage our people is that we shouldn't be afraid to dare. We shouldn't be afraid to take that step. Sometimes failure is not the end of the world. Sometimes you fail, but you try, you keep trying, you're going to get there. Thank you, guys.
Peace. Look forward to having you again.